Welcome to the Wealth BuildHERS podcast, the women entrepreneurs' home for building successful businesses that generate passive income. You have entered a judgment-free zone, so give yourself permission to shake off all the things you haven't done, because your journey to owning a thriving business you love starts right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the podcast. Today, Camille Davis and I are here with Janet Coleman with So Much More. Janet, thank you so much for being with us today. It is such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Yay. Okay, good. So Much More is like the best name for a company like ever. Tell us, how did you come up with the name and exactly what is it that you do? Who do you serve?
Okay. Throughout my life, I've been kind of aware of women around me and knowing that they're fabulous and that they have many talents and they can speak their mind and sound wonderful and have so much to say. And yet in public, I didn't see that reflected. Certainly as I was growing up, it was very male dominated, and I'm not here to put down men or do anything like that. I'm just making an observation that women didn't have access to saying what they felt and making contributions, especially professionally in the boardrooms, etc. And as I grew up, it kind of troubled me. And I guess I got started because someone initially asked me to do a presentation on depression, because that was something that was in that particular organization of concern. And so as I did the research, this little 7-minute presentation on depression turned into 45 minutes of depression, guilt, stress, all these different things that women and other people, but women especially, deal with and kind of try to hide. So as I did my own research, because I had felt those things too, how do I speak up? How do I feel better about myself? How do I believe in myself? Where's my voice? How can I decide to do that? All those things troubled me. And so as I did a lot of research and came around to doing a lot of different classes, people noticed what I was teaching and they liked it and they sought me out. So through the years, I have taught hundreds and hundreds of classes, countless people in different settings. Big groups, 800 to down to one person, because if only one person shows up, you teach that person with all you have. And just in recent years, I've brought it together in a different format, named it So Much More, because the women that I have seen through the years, they have so much more within. They have so much more, so many more abilities, so much more hope, so much more vision than they're letting out. I've lived in a number of countries and it was the same thing. Women are sort of being reticent, especially like in African countries and China and Japan and other places. They don't speak up as much as I think they should and that they have the ability to do. So I wanted women to understand that within them, there is so much more. In their futures, there's so much more. They have abilities and they can find out more that they can do. And I have so much to teach them on how to make use of all of those things.
Yeah. So Camille, tell me, how did you and Janet connect?
Right. Yes. Well, she did reach out to me and had me take this class from her.
She was so gracious.
Yes.
To take the class.
Not gracious. This is life-changing. It's something I've never ever done before. And it was so eye-opening. Actually, after I did it, I just thought, wow, did that just happen? Like, you just find things out about yourself that you didn't even know. And it's this process of, somehow she gets you from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind, and it's perfectly planned and structured, to then all of a sudden you're like, I know that. Where did that just come from? Because it's your subconscious mind that's coming out, and she helps you process this, where you can now make that a superpower, or make those fears that hold you back from doing things, you move forward. And goals, she has you write down goals. She has you do some journaling. It's just I mean, and you have to do the work. You definitely do. You have to be open to it emotionally. You have to be ready. But wow, if you're open to it and you let it happen, this process it's life-changing.
Wow.
Thank
Wow.
you. She's
Yes.
actually referring to some 18-hour masterminds that I have done in the past, and they're pretty intense, but they're pretty wonderful. We build trust
it's
and
great.
intimacy of of emotions.
And she purposely structures it. She watches this whole time and she structures it where she will pair you up with someone that you fit with, or that would be that you would feel comfortable with. So she's watching these gifts and these different personalities and she pairs them. And then you feel like you're like this, you feel royalty actually, because she has everything prepared for you. You're not supposed to have your cell phone. Your meals are prepared. You just feel like you're like this queen going in there and having this event happen. And it takes you away from the world for just a little bit, enough to really focus on yourself and to really just, it's so amazing. It's so amazing. That's why I'm like, we need to get you in this. We need to promote this. We need to get more women. We need to do retreats.
Thank you
so much. And then, I mean, you just see the way she holds herself. Like, I mean, she's just an accomplished, amazing person to learn from, with so many experiences in her life. And it's just uplifting and empowering.
Yeah.
Really
yeah. So for the woman who's listening, this sounds great, but I'm removed from it. I'm not familiar with Janet. I haven't had the pleasure of meeting her yet. I'm just a listener to a podcast.
Okay.
So Janet, tell me exactly, what are you? Are you a life coach? Are you a spiritual counselor? What is it that you do exactly?
What I call myself is a personal powers strategist, because I'm not trained in coaching, although I have done a lot of one-on-one and one-on-two, etc. But I take women from tools, which I teach them, but those are inanimate objects like a hammer or a comb, and those are inanimate objects that we use. But as we learn how to use them, we can thereby have strategies, build strategies. So it's from tools to strategies. And as we internalize those strategies and work on them, they eventually become life powers. And I kind of hate to use the term empowering, but that is what fits. They become empowered to do so much more because they've recognized the internal abilities that they have. So tools to strategies to life powers.
Gotcha. And so if I'm a woman who's let's say I'm a stay-at-home mom and I'm trying to build a business, I'm new to entrepreneurship, or I am an established woman, like I have an established business, who is your ideal client to work with? Where are they in business and where are they in life?
Well, they are mostly in life between about ages 34 and 49, because they have children. If they're going to have children, they've probably already had some. And so their children may be, in school, and she might be looking around thinking, I have a dream, but it's too late for me. And I want her to realize it's not too late. It's never too late. And she might be the one who has helped everybody for so long. Maybe she put her husband through school, or maybe she's gone back to school, or maybe she was a professional woman who is now kind of looking at what's next. And this is the time to figure out what's next. My principles that I teach can fit with every woman, but I target basically those women. She might have been a professional woman who is tired of the workplace, or maybe she wants to go back to work and she doesn't know quite how to do it, and she doesn't believe in herself, and she doesn't know where to go from there. So there are many possibilities of women who want to learn and understand so much more.
So good. That is really good. So do you have a specific framework? I know I don't want you to give away the store, but do you have like some specific, like, here are the 6 pillars or the 5 things, or is there anything specific that you kind of hang your hat on for your framework?
I do. The first one is your compelling voice. We don't believe in our voices. We kind of hang back and whisper, yeah, this is what I want. Or women say, have said in the past, where do you want to go to eat? I'm sorry, what restaurant would you want? Oh, I don't care, whatever you want, so the whatever you want. And if that whatever you want keeps going, then people think you don't have an opinion and you won't ever voice what you say. Now that's simplistic, but it's your compelling voice. It's in there and we can bring it out. We teach all kinds of things about what a confident person looks like. And I use it as an example, Lisa Nichols. Are you familiar with Lisa Nichols? She is a fabulous motivational speaker. She has come from a little bit of a rough background. She uses humor. I think you'd like her. I mean, I fell in love with her immediately, but she doesn't have an agenda except to build you up and teach you how to feel good about yourself and go forward and conquer the world. That's who she is, and that's what she's like. And that's her voice. Now, we don't have to necessarily feel like we have to be a Lisa Nichols, but we can find what our voice is and learn how to use it, not to hold back, but to understand what it is we can say and how to say it. The second thing is your bold decisions. And a lot of decisions these days have to be bold because we live in tumultuous times. And people want a piece of us, our energy, our money, our time. And, there are some people who won't even talk to you if you don't believe what they believe. And people tend to want to fade back into the woodwork and not say anything and play small. And then the person who wants to, put you down or make you feel small has won. But you have to learn how to make decisions to step forward so that the spaces, for example, that you have in your life that you leave open and you don't even realize you leave open, those cannot be inundated with people of ill will. Now, we don't criticize any group, any, faction of people, but the idea that you probably need to recognize the spaces you leave open in your family, in your life, in your workplace, in your heart, so that other people can't sneak in and make use of that space themselves. And that takes bold decision making. And then the third one is your personal powers. We go deep, like Camille said, we go deep and find those and bring them out. And it's a great process. It's a tender process. And that's why I like small groups, even though I'm happy to speak to any size group. I like a small group in person in a retreat kind of a situation so that we can feel complete confidence in each other. And the whole basis for a mastermind is like-minded people. We don't have to believe exactly the same, but like-minded people going forward towards similar goals. And then we all learn from each other. And all the vision and the wisdom and the experiences of all these people come together and we build each other up and we build these really deep friendships.
Wow. That is awesome. So are those the three pillars?
Those are the
I heard you say three things. Okay. Your voice, your bold decisions, and your personal powers.
Yeah, your compelling voice.
Your compelling voice. There you go.
Because
compelling. That's a good word.
Power in your voice, whether it's to you are the first one that ever spoke to that tiny baby that's not yet born, or that's, you're the first person that she has heard in her life, or it's your family, or it's your neighborhood, your church, the schools, a greater audience, whatever it is, your voice can be compelling without being harsh.
Yes. Gotcha. Okay. So Camille Davis, you are an extraordinary entrepreneur. You went through this process with Janet. Can you tell us how did it help you in your business? Since this is a business focused podcast, I kind of want to keep it there. Did it help you in your business? And if so, how?
Right. It's so interesting because there was all gamut of women, all different kinds of women in different stages of their life. And, as she's going through the beginning part and she says, what is it that you wanted to do that you've never done? And I'm thinking, I'm doing what I want to do. And, there was a lot of women in there that was like, yeah, I don't know. Like I've stayed with my kids for 10 years and I don't know what I'm going to do. Like now my kids are about ready to leave the house or now they're in school and now what am I going to do? I don't know if I want to go back to work, but I was like, I'm actually doing it. I'm doing what I, what I want to do. But it was still so beneficial for me because there's always more. There's so much more. Because I thought I was doing everything I wanted to do. But it compelled me to do more, which I'm now doing something completely different than real estate. I'm now doing a women's group. Like I'm now trying to compel and share what I know and help other people. Because I got to that point where I knew how to do this real estate and I felt confident with it. And maybe this helped me realize, like, I'm confident with this.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going and sharing it with the world. But I don't know that I would have done that. I mean, there's things that came into play. There was you that came into play. There was instances, but it was that realigning or that energy that came back of like, let's do more. Let's do. And then I also thought of her and I was like, wow, we need to get this for more people because it changed me. And I saw the value. And of course, I want to get that value out to other people. That's how I do. And I was like, and so then I said to her, I said, okay, let's do this. Let's book a place. Let's advertise it. Let's get it going.
Yes.
So this is totally all her. I'm just helping push it forward.
Well, that's the thing. You showed a lot of confidence in me and said, let's do it right now. And I love that. I don't have that in my heart, to be able to just say, I'm doing it right now.
And I think that maybe that's one of my gifts is I don't have the perfect plan in place, but I do it anyway. And
that is your gift, Camille. It is a wonderful gift.
And so sometimes it's messy and sometimes it's not organized the way it should be, but I think, you know what, we'll figure it out as we go. And I have noticed many women are actually more the other way of like, no, let me get the perfect thing in place first. Yeah. Let's get the perfect structure because we want to make sure it's good. And there's nothing wrong with that. I tend to be different for some reason. And so I think I was just the person that's like, okay, I know you've been planning this. I know you've got this perfect structure in place. Let's do it now. Let's take action.
Yeah. So the Women's Wealth Collective is now working with you, Janet, to schedule some retreats. And I know that the retreats are small groups. Yes. So you'll likely do more than one. Is that correct?
Yes, I'd like to do 2 or 3 a year at least, in addition to other things that I'm doing, because it's a big deal, and it's a lot of time. We go in on a Tuesday afternoon, and then we have 3 full days. This time it's going to be on Galveston Beach, right by the beach itself. And then we leave on Saturday morning. And so it's a captive audience. We're all committed to ourselves and to each other. And we have everything planned. I just hired a chef, and I'm excited about her. She's going to be on site, wonderful, fresh fruits and foods. And of course, we'll pay attention to the women's needs if there are any allergies, etc. But we're going to get up and we're going to learn, and we're going to walk on the beach, and we're going to look at the stars, and we're going to do yoga for those who want to do those. And I'm very excited.
As am I. It sounds like a wonderful, wonderful time of just, empowering ourselves and learning really who we are and what it is that we want out of life. And so if a woman who is listening wants to connect with you and they're willing to come all the way to Houston to enjoy one of these retreats or events with you, do you have a schedule or something on your website where people can see, okay, well, I can't do it, right now, but when I get my money right and I want to do this in the spring, Janet, can they contact you some way to do future events or activities with you?
Yes, they can do my Facebook page, which is, I've just changed it all. So it's Janet dot so much more.
Got it.
And,
okay.
And that's the same with my email. It's Janet so much more at Hotmail. And I welcome.
That is so simple and so good. Go ahead. I'll cut you off. Go ahead. You're welcome.
I just wanted to, make it all kind of the same across the board and let them contact me. I'm happy to talk with them.
Yes, that is so good. Do you do retreats in other parts of the country or Houston only?
Not yet. I have not
okay.
yet.
Okay.
But I am open to that. The thing is, when somebody wants to be a part of the retreat, we need to do a vetting process, them to me and me to them, because we're looking for women. For example, we're looking for women of faith and women without an agenda in this arena. People who are open to learning and to giving and to making changes and to going deep, need to have an understanding before we even make a commitment to each other.
Of course. And do you offer any programs that are one-on-one? I know you kind of mentioned that before.
I have done that informally, and I have set up my own coaching program, but I have not put it into use yet. I had someone ask me that at one of your last meetings, Camille, and she said, do you do personal coach? Will there be personal coaching at the retreat? And I had to say, I'm sorry, no, because there won't be time. But if someone wants to contact me for that as well, I will base everything I do on these 3 pillars, because everything we do is based on the decisions we make, the things we say, the belief we have in what we can and can't do. So many programs, many classes built around those, but they're different. And yet, can we divorce ourselves from the decision? No. Or from our voice? No. Or from our personal powers? No.
So good. Okay, Camille Davis, do you have any other questions for Miss Janet Coleman before we get out of here?
I know. Is there anything else that you wanted to say that you might want to?
I am so thrilled with the responses to the masterminds. They were a leap into space for me, instead of just, teaching programs. I love the interaction, and everything I do is interaction. I don't lecture. And so I was thrilled with the outcomes of those. I feel compelled to do what I'm doing. I know that the information and the interactions are so important to people, and women are really hungry for those things. And I'm just happy to be here to be able to share with them the way they can do all those things.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's so great. The group that I went through with, I think there were probably 12 of us. I think we were one of the larger groups. Mm-hmm. It's fun because we try to stay together and motivate each other. So accountability. So you can text in this group, and it's a Facebook group also. So you can text and we get this group message going, and you can say, this is what I did. And it could be anything. So one of the ladies went and started, she likes theater. So she started a play for kids. Like, she's a stay-at-home mom, and she's like, so she went and created actors and actresses, right? And this was an amazing play. I mean, this was something.
And they're ongoing. They're geniuses. There are 3 of them, and they're fabulous.
This is something like it was like a paid for event. It was free, but it was like something I would have went and paid for Houston Theater Under the Stars, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was.
And it's all
amazing.
With teenagers, and they memorize every word. It's Shakespeare, by the way.
Young kids. And they had their lines memorized.
Oh, it was amazing.
The costumes
the props, everything.
The props. I don't even know how she did all that.
Yeah.
So she found her voice, right? She found her voice. Another woman in the group she writes music, or she's phenomenal. She plays music, but she actually can just make up music too. And she started writing music for people, writing for weddings and writing for, so it's just phenomenal to find what these people found, like from going through the class, something that they had and they're using it now. And so then we all help each other. We'll be like, hey, I had a bad morning, or hey, this is what I did today. And like, even if it's just a little tiny win, we're all supporting each other, and it's just really, it's a different kind of connection.
What we're going to do with each retreat as well is have a private Facebook group for that retreat. And then we'll probably add the next retreat on top of it so that they will be like-minded women in a growing community.
Yeah. So it is a true mastermind. It's interesting because I want to create a mastermind also, but if this can be another little separate mastermind, because it is at a different level and it's at a different intimacy, right? When you go through something with somebody that's personal, there's a different kind of connection that happens. And so I don't even know how to explain it, but it's I love the mastermind.
Thank you.
With it. So great.
Yeah. So if people are listening to this way in the future, because these podcasts kind of, linger in the atmosphere forever, they can contact you, Janet, on Facebook or by email if they want to connect with you in the future. But if someone is wanting to get with you right now, I know that the retreat that you mentioned is coming up. Well, let me ask that question. Is the mastermind and the retreat the same thing? What's the difference?
Well, the mastermind was 2 days and you went home at night. The retreat is actually, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 nights, 3 full days. You don't go home at night, but it's the same basic way to do it. And we have different classes during each day. We'll focus one day on one thing, which will be the basis of what you learn the next day. And then the third day, we really go deep.
Okay. So as we're listening to this episode may release in like December 2022 or January 2023. Do you have events that are coming up that if people want to participate in, that they can reach out immediately?
I am about to launch something on what's called mastermind.com marketplace, where I will have a number of my classes that people can delve into if they want to. So it'll be mastermind.com marketplace, and they'll find it under my name.
Yes. Awesome.
And she does have a planned event coming, which is the one in Galveston, which she talked about, but that's March
7th through 11th.
March 7th through 11th, 2023.
And I will probably shut down the membership maybe toward the end of January.
Right.
I mean, I'm hoping to get the numbers before that, but if I don't, they can always ask me.
And how many spots are open for that one?
I was going to say,
there are 10.
So. 10 spots open. Okay. And are all 10 spots open as of the time of this recording?
Yes.
Okay. Because you will air before the March date. And so I want to put that in there. At that point, it may be closed, but we want to give people the opportunity to at least reach out to you to find out. So one more time.
And we'll keep them in mind for the next one.
Yes, that would be great. I was going to say, so one more time, let's just review how to contact you. What's your email address, Janet?
Okay. Janet, so much more at Hotmail. Okay. And
Got it.
And then my Instagram is, let me see, at Janet. It's Janet, so much more. I'm sorry. I have a friend helping me do this, and this is all new to me. So then my Facebook is Janet.SoMuchMore. How's that?
Got it. And we will make sure that all of this is in the show notes so people don't have to guess.
Yeah. And if they look Janet and so much more, they'll find it.
Yep.
Yeah, anything connecting Janet with so much more, they'll find me. They will.
All right. Well, Janet Coleman, thank you so much for being with us. And we are in love with the concept of so much more and all of the great things that you are doing for women. Camille Davis and I just want to thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. And we wish you the best.
Thank you.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you. You too.
That's all for this episode. Come back soon for more tools, resources, and great stories from successful women entrepreneurs. We believe you absolutely can build a business you love and have passive income. Until next time, thank you for listening.
Here we go.